Today, I'm playing through as many popular Mario Maker 2 boss fights as possible in 60 minutes. I'm breaking down why each fight is popular and giving feedback about what's great and what could make them even better. How many of these are actually good? Keep track and post your opinion in the comments. First one here, Koopaling's Battle Castle by Zenmai. We're going to check it out. I think there are going to be multiple bosses in this one. We start off in the castle in Mario Bros. 1 theme. We go in this pipe, and we've got our first boss. Looks like we got some claws here, munchers on the top, and each time we hit it on off, boom, we crunch that boss. That was boss fight number 1. I like it. I think it was pretty creative and fun, very easy. And this next one here, we've got a big blue Mecha Koopa shooting lasers, just testing out here. I see we want him on the platform. We need to trigger him by walking in front. And then the boss falls down each time that the Mecha Koopa destroys the ice blocks. Then the boss falls down until, boom, we can get him all the way into the lava to get that key and move on. Let's see what boss number 3 holds. We're going to save really quick, move on through. And now we've got, looks like Wendy and some bumpers on tracks. I like the look of these boss fights, by the way. All of these are part of the same level. We just touched that blue platform and crunched Wendy really fast. But all these levels look very professional. Good scroll stopping, so it's just one screen per boss fight. Now we've got Lemmy, and we launch a giant Koopa at him. Hitting the on-off switch doesn't actually do anything with on-off blocks, but it does launch the giant Koopa shell up into the trampolines and slaps Lemmy in the face. I do like the design of that one because the bouncing balls can push us into the saw blades, but in this case it was a little bit too easy here, and we didn't actually encounter that at all. Now we've got Roy, who can dig into the clouds. We beat him really quick, and we hit a POW, and that just took care of him in one shot instead of the normal 3 jumps on him. As long as he's touching the ground, you can defeat him really quick. Next one is a Morton fight. He ground pounds and stuns us as Mario here, and his fire is actually the main thing that we need to think about. Every time that he does his butt slam, the fire goes around the perimeter, and we've got to burn through these frozen coin blocks until we can get this POW right here in the middle. And then whenever we hit the POW, as long as he's touching the ground, we should be able to defeat him. I like the design of that one. That one's actually pretty creative. I love when Morton fights actually use the fire as the main mechanic. And now we've got Ludwig up in the sky. We need to pop up these trampolines, push a muncher into them, and there we go, 1 hit. So a lot of these fights in this level in particular are a lot easier than standard fights because usually you need to bounce them 3 times, but in this case we only need to do 1 thing in order to defeat the Koopaling altogether. Now in this level, it's very different. It's more story-based, it looks like so far. We've got the Koopalings up there. We're going backwards in time, so it's 2014. Let's see. I'm excited about the creativity of this level. Well, this is exactly a fight that we've already seen. Actually, this was like the first fight we saw, so I would take back the creativity part. At least there's some story creativity in here, and I think this is a reference to a fight that's actually in a Mario game that came out in 2014. If you guys know which one that is, go ahead and pop that in the comments. But we got the key pretty quick, and we're going to move on to our next fight. We've got an Iggy, and in this one we've got the spiked shelmet that we're launching along. So it comes out of that red bullet blaster, and then it gets trapped in between the one-ways and whatever on-off block that we have at the moment. So it's our job as Mario. We've got to hit the on-offs to move the shell forward while hopefully dodging all those green donuts of doom. Let's see what the next room holds for us. All right, 2014. Okay, are we moving on to a new year? Yep. Okay, we're going into 2016. Let's see what's in store here. Now we've got icicles. I love when we have icicles and we're actually above them. So instead of running around and getting them to trigger from underneath, if you actually touch one from above, then it will cause it to start falling. So these little donuts, these little strawberry rings up here, we've got to dodge them. We don't have a ton of space up here as Mario while we have to try to time the icicles to fall right on Wendy. So it's a bit of 2 things at once to figure out how to do this fight. I do love the look of that room too. Very nice. That was a good fight. Actually had a little bit more challenge than the other ones. Okay, another Morton, and we have fire in this one, and The little boos there and the one-ways, that's all just kind of a distraction. It's just showing that little opening is where the fire comes out and it can attack us. So if we're not careful while we're climbing up to hit the on-offs, then we will get burned, as we did a little bit there. Okay, Lemmy is here, and we've got spikes everywhere on the sides and where Lemmy's at. But in this case, all we have to do is drop it on him. Easy fight, way too easy for me, and we're moving forward. So now, 2016, what year are we going to next? 2019. Let's see what else we've got in here. This seems to be a Roy fight. We've got bob-ombs inside of hard blocks. And in this one, we could use the red Yoshi to just spit the fire at Roy. But instead, if we use the red Yoshi to burn all of the bob-ombs, they'll all explode, and Roy will drop right into the molten cherry juice. And then we move on. In this one, what are we doing? 2020, I think we're still progressing the story. I do like that this level has a central idea, a story to it, where it's showing us the different bosses in the different years. We're time travelers, that's super fun. And the aesthetics of all these courses are really nice too. It looks very professional to me. So in this one, we've got Ludwig. He's actually above the ground, and we have to use our spiked helmet to spike him. Next level here, Koopaling's Gimmick Battle. I'm hoping we start seeing a little bit more challenging levels. So far, these have been cool ideas, some creativity in here, but I don't think we've done anything super tough yet. So in this one, let's see, we got bob-ombs running on the top, and we've got to trigger the on-off right when Ludwig, our winged Ludwig, is up next to the bombs. That's the only way that we're going to do some damage. And since he's spitting all sorts of Cheerios at us, we got to make sure to dodge those as we are paying attention to the bob-omb. So we got to look in two spots at the same time. So this one's pretty cool. I like that Mario has a little spot, and so he won't fall into the lava, but he's got to move back and forth with intent. We've got an Iggy here. On the top, you can see we've got a Shelmet going towards the on-off, and every time it does, the bullet blasters move in. So our walls are closing in slowly. I love that mechanic. I think that's really fun to add some stakes, make it feel like you've got to go fast, otherwise you won't be able to finish the boss. And save. Okay, we've got the checkpoint. We're doing great. What's coming up next? Spiked Shelmet. We've got a Lemmy fight. He's above, just kind of like the one we did before. But the difference here is if you look on the right side, we've got a big skewer smashing one row of hard blocks at a time. If we don't go fast enough, Mario will drop right into the lava and he will be burned. So luckily we spike Lemmy quick enough and we can get out of there. Okay, we got Morton, and he's shooting some yellow Cheerios at us this time. It looks like, I'm trying to figure out exactly, it looks like we want Morton's fire to follow that track and get all the way up. So we've got to change the on-off blocks. There we go, all the way to the bob-omb. And then once the bob-omb explodes, the POW should be enough, yes, to take out the Morton. I like that one a lot. That was a creative and fun level for sure. I am hoping what we start seeing some more dynamic levels where it changes after you do damage the first time, something changes. But in this one, I want to talk about the floor that Mario's standing on. The sideways trampolines actually make it so Roy can't come and stand on this ground. Sideways trampolines, for whatever reason, he's not able to dig through. So by having them here for Mario, Roy can only spawn on those two lower hard block surfaces, and he bounces in between the two. And so our job is to touch the note blocks on either side, react to where he is, and launch the Shelmet at Roy. In this one, we've got a Sonic battle, actually. And it looks like Dr. Eggman, he's got his chain chomp swinging around down there. And there looks to be a note block up there, so we got to jump all the way up. Boom! We drop the POW. And in this case, I think we just get to escape here by hitting that muncher. And we don't actually defeat the boss. I wish we could defeat the boss. But we're going to get our star, and we're going to touch that, and we are all done. Okay, we got another Zenmai Gimmick Castle level. I'm assuming since the last one was really easy, this one also should be pretty darn easy, but maybe it'll be a little bit tougher, I don't know. This one seems to have a hub world where we got the 4 different challenges we can go and encounter. So we're going to go up here first. We've got note blocks. Each time you bounce the note block, it moves a muncher toward the center, and the conveyor belts down at the bottom push those munchers in. Once we get both munchers, it will smash that Koopaling into smithereens. So a cool variation on the munchers smashing the boss idea with the note blocks up top. And we've got our first key coin. Grab the checkpoint to save our progress, and we're gonna go see what the next battle is all about. Let's go down to the green next, see what's in here. In the green one, we've got another boss here, Larry, and we've got our Shelmet down here, hit the note block. Okay, hits the on-off, and now the top, we've got a Shelmet going back to the on-off switch. Oh, cool, but we got a bullet bill, a homing bullet bill that came out because the block was switched. So this is kind of what I was talking about with a more dynamic boss fight, where if we have something change, then something new happens. It's not just the projectiles from the Koopaling. Now we also have the bullet bill getting launched out, adding a little bit of challenge here. This is probably the most interesting boss fight we've seen so far, just because it did have that one extra element of depth, in my opinion. But still fair. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't something crazy. It just gave a little bit of variety to the fight. Let's go check out this red one next. See what's in here. These boss fights are pretty short so far. I'm hoping as we keep checking out these popular levels that we see some more intricate boss fights that are a little bit more tailored to, intermediate and advanced players. These are all kind of beginner players. This one, we're launching those bob-ombs up by hitting the on-offs into the trampolines, into the munchers, into the bob-omb, into the Koopalings, and we just got to figure out where Roy is going to be before we attack. Very cool. We got 3 coins. We got 1 left to get, and that's going to be down to the right in the yellow pipe. Yellow-orange pipe? Yellow pipe? Last but not least, let's see what we got. Wendy. It's Wendy's turn. And we've got a giant spike ball rolling. Oh, I already got hit by the projectile. Giant spike ball rolling, and we have to hit the on-off to change the conveyor belt to move the spike ball, but we got to time it, because if we do it while Wendy's in the air, she will not take any damage from our spike ball. There we go. We got our first hit on her. I like this a lot because it's not as simple as, okay, just stand here and hit the on-off switch. You actually have to have an element of timing in here, so it's a more creative fight. That's clear. I think it's obvious what we need to do, and it's not too chaotic with everything that's on screen, but it's a matter of executing that. All right, we've got all 4. Let's go check it out, go down the pipe, and go into the key door, see what the final... Is there a final boss? I don't actually know. Or is that the end? Let's find out. Ah, that's the end. Okay, let's move on to our next set of boss battles. I'm really liking the originality that I'm seeing here, and I love the ones that have story elements too. Okay, so in this one, let's see, we got a first little spot here, a lot of Goombas in there, and it's a battle against a single Goombrat. Okay, definitely the easiest boss we've done so far, but I do like the aesthetic, the look of the overall level where we're in the boxing arena, and here comes the winged mole, and bounce on him. So I'm assuming that this one is all about the story, the progression of the bosses. So in a boss rush level like this, you kind of want to build up to the final moment. So each interaction should be a little bit stronger, a little bit harder to win than the last. So now we've got a mess of Goombas all together. That was the 3rd fight here. But the arena keeps staying the same. And so that's kind of interesting to see the growth of the bosses, where the arena or the aesthetic kind of feels like we are the ones moving forward and challenging harder and harder enemies, but this is our ring. We're like the reigning champion, and all these different bosses are coming in. So I really like that, even though the boss fights themselves aren't anything really spectacular and original to me. I think that having the arena and having that story element is what makes this one popular. Okay, we've got a Wiggler here. Let's see what happens. Oh, I love that. So they take a little twist on it where we've been in the same arena over and over fighting the enemies, but this time we actually fall down through the floor, and that takes us to the next secret arena. And in this one, we fight Boom Boom. Very easy to defeat, super easy boss, and we go through the key door. Let's see what we got next. A winged mole in this tiny arena with spikes is actually pretty dangerous. A little bit scary. There we go. We got him, and we can keep moving on. I like that. I like that the Goombrats are down here. It's like a different secret underground club, and now all the Goombrats are trying to get revenge. All the ones that have been watching, they're not watching anymore. And we get on this platform. Let's see what we can do up top. Let's go all the way up, and I think we're going to escape here. Yep, and we get to touch the axe, and we are done with this level. Very cool story kind of level overall. Next up, we got Koopaling's Gimmick Castle Part 2. Zenmai, obviously very popular creator for boss battles, somehow found a formula that works really well, people seem to really like. And we've got another similar looking Hub Worlds castle here. This one looks way more involved. We got Lemmy, and we've got to sneak in there, avoid these Mecha Koopas with their lasers, and we got to jump over. Okay, we don't want to get pushed into the spike traps with these bouncy balls from Lemmy. It's actually a little bit tricky because it's a small space. Jump over these one-way gates, and can we get back up? Okay, I think we just got to do it one more time. Oh, don't bounce me out of here. Get back in. Get back in. Oh man. Okay, there we go, and that'll do it. Okay, the Muncher comes out. Once we do it a third time, the Muncher chomps him, and we finish that fight. We got our first key coin, and now we're going to hit this on-off switch above, and we're going to go back down into the checkpoint and into the pipe for the next thing. Let's see what's coming up next. I want to go to the right. Let's hit this on-off. Go in here next. I think that Zenmai does a great job with aesthetics. That's definitely something that all Zenmai's levels look really, really great. Okay, Morton here is ground pounding and stunning us. Opened up a pathway, and we hit on that side. We hit the on-off. Looks like instead of Munchers at the top, this time it's Bullet Blasters. Bullet Blasters are coming in towards the center. We just need to do one more time. So we're alternating right and left with the Shelmets, bouncing into the on-off switches, and that gets us that sweet, sweet key to move on. And got our next key coin, dropping down. Let's keep on moving. So far I've seen a bunch of levels that are pretty, like, they're creative, but they're not like 1 in a million level. Like, I've seen this type of level before. I understand why they're popular. Typically easier levels are kind of popular. As you can see here, we got that same Bob-omb and on-off switch idea that we've had a few times or once before. But I can see why they're popular, because they're not just your standard Fire Flower spam fight against Bowser. You actually have to do something. It's interesting. It looks different. It's cool. There's good aesthetics. The difficulty is easy, which people tend to like easier things because they don't like to die over and over. So they give a heart for things that they do like. And it's fun. I feel immersed in this boss battle, boss rush. And now we're going to go on to the final battle in this level and see what it's all about. We run across here into the blue pipe. Looks like we've got Winged Bowser. And our spiked Shelmets are waiting. If we hit this on-off, we can launch them. Just got to avoid the fire breath. And, oop, got hit by the fire. But each time that we do that, we can launch out a spiked Shelmet, and it gets in the wings here, ready to launch. And once we let it go, as long as Bowser's in the right spot, it will attack him. Just like that. So we need to do a few more. It looks like Bob-ombs actually would be coming out of that pipe. But I want to keep racking up these spiked Shelmets. Let's see. Maybe the Bob-omb is better. There we go. Yeah, actually the Bob-omb does a lot more damage there. So we're able to defeat Bowser with a big Bob-omb. All right. Mario the Gladiator up next. Let's see what this level is like. I wonder if it's just like that boxing level or if there's going to be something creative about it. We're going to start by grabbing our mushroom, going through the door. And it looks like we've got Koopas up here ready to see us fight something. There's no boxing ring this time, but just one single Goomba coming from the sky with a parachute. And that gives us the key. Okay. I do like the idea of this one. I think it's fun and clever. Another story-based kind of level here that has a bunch of boss fights in it. Looks like we got Boom Boom waiting to be released. One thing that bothers me about this level is that it's not scroll stopped perfectly. So every time we move, it moves a little bit. It's just a personal preference, just having it be really centered in the middle of the screen so you don't have to have that just tiny bit of movement. Either do a lot of movement or no movement is kind of my thought on that. Okay, how are we going to beat this Wiggler? Wigglers can't be stomped on, can't be defeated, so let's see. Okay, so we're grabbing a Koopa with this claw. Let's use a Koopa shell, and let's kick this Wiggler. All right, so out of the 3 bosses we've had so far, that one actually took a little bit of thinking. The other 2, very simple and straightforward. Probably the fights themselves are a little bit less exciting. I think the popularity of these, why it's in the top 100 popular bosses, is more to do with the overall level itself. Oh, big swamp coming through. Okay. Oh, okay, he got me. Let's see. Grab a key. Oh, can we get it? Oh, yeah, all right, we got back through. I do like that that was a little surprise where we get kind of used to the pattern of bosses falling from the top over and over, and then suddenly, where's the boss? It slams through somewhere we didn't expect. I think that's super clever, and that's a fun way to add variety to the level and make it interesting. That one we just had to jump on the big bomb and wait for it to explode. Now, okay, so all the Koopas are now dry bones. That's a clever little addition here. But we've got the Boom Boom is back, but it's winged this time. So we're still adding some difficulty as we go. I do think it's really smart if you're going to have multiple bosses in a level to add the difficulty and the progression as you go. Don't just start with a really hard boss and make every boss just really hard. Kind of build up to it. I'm wondering what's happening here. Oh, the same lone Goomba is coming back for another appearance. Is he going to beat me this time? Oh, nope. All right. We got him. So I do think these are short and sweet bosses. Very, very easy, generally. But the story is what really drives all of these bosses together. And that's the end of that level. Undertale here, let's see this Undying level. We are going to, oh, this is our first Link level. We're going to be Link, and there's the big fish. That's our boss, and we got little dry bone fish bones, I think they're called. They're coming at us. We've got to turn and quickly slash them. We got to slash them, and I do like the music that's going on with this. If we're not quick enough switching direction, we will lose the Link costume, and then we can't do any damage because we can't jump. The one-way gate is causing us to be stuck in here. So this, so far, is the most interesting and different boss fight we've seen. The boss isn't even just a Koopaling or Boom Boom. It's a giant fish, and now it's chasing us. So this is the next boss encounter right here. In a Lakitu cloud, the giant Cheep is chasing us, and we got some music here. Can we survive? There we go. And we get all the way to the end. That is a fun level. We're going to hit this on off. And now the fish is just enjoying swimming through the air, and we get to go down. I love boss fights that include music too. I think it's really interesting when you're able to incorporate the music and make bosses that aren't your regular bosses. Those are my favorite, when you can turn a normal enemy into a boss and make them really interesting. So in this one, looks like another kind of boxing themed level, but we've got a different way to go about it here. We got 3 Goombas up top, and all of the spectators are above that. And fight 2, I do like that it kind of leads us into the fight instead of the previous level that we played, where it was just you go in the door and you're already in the fight. This one shows you who you're up against, so you can kind of prepare for a second, and it keeps track of the different bosses, what number boss we're on. Ooh, got hit by that hammer, but we got that Goomba. Each boss is getting a little bit harder over time, so good progression again. That's good level design in my opinion. And now what's going on here? We've got all sorts of things. The entire level seems to be breaking apart, and we need to go up and over. There's Boom Booms, but they're stuck, so we don't have to fight them. And checkpoint, we'll go in here, see how the level progresses. The immersion of this level, I think that's one of the things too, is like some boss fights might be really interesting, but if it doesn't actually make you feel like it's part of the theme or immersion of the level, then it's not as good or as effective. We got a giant Goombrat and small Goombrat. Okay. All right. And then we just stomp on them and we get all the way through. Now we're in the same kind of level that we had before with the big boxing ring. And we drop down, though. I do like that we're dropping down into these fights while we're fighting them, instead of just before, again, coming out of the door and we're already fighting. This makes it so that we understand a little bit better. Okay, now this I think is a little bit too tight, having both a giant boom boom and a winged boom boom in such a small space. This is the first one that I don't really agree with the design of. I think that it would be more effective if we either had more space to battle these two, or if we had a different combination and we had something on top of the flying boom boom or something like that. Some sort of little change here would make this much better. But I do like the look of the arena with the blue blocks and the tracks on the sides or on the top. That does make it really feel like a boxing ring. And the semi-solids with the bone platforms that we're walking on, that looks really cool. So the overall look of this level, fantastic. I think that's a theme that we've seen with all the levels so far. Even if the boss fights are easy and not that interesting, the look of the level is always immaculate. Great, and then we drop them into the sludge. And here it looks like we're at the end. We're going to grab the flagpole, and there we go. Next up, strongest Goomba. Oh, Mario has 8 lives. Okay, Mario has 8 lives, but aren't we Mario? No, we're not. We're a Goomba. This is cool. This is completely different than everything we've played so far. 3D World style. We're fighting against Mario. He's launching these fire lava bubbles at us, and if we dodge them, then they turn into bob-bombs and give us a key after they explode and beat Mario. That is super cool. Now we're getting to fight against his legs. So we've got to climb through at the perfect time and through the top as well. This is super creative. This is the most original fight or original encounters we've faced all day. The blinking blocks to show Builder Mario smashing the exclamation block. And it looks like over the top, if you can see the top, the bullet blasters fall down. And if they fall down onto the P-switch, then we fall all the way down. But we found the key in time. This time we need to find, it looks like the question block has a key, and we can get it from there. And then we've got to carefully get into the key block and then get out of here before we fall through. This is really, really clever. I like this a lot. Looks like 8 lives is down to 4 lives. So we got to beat Mario 4 more times. This time it looks like he's kicking some trampolines at us, and it's our job as Goomba to jump up and hit this question mark block to hit the POW, which will chain reaction. What'll it do? Now there's another POW, so we got to do it again, and they both chain and hit Mario, change the on-off blocks, and we can get through as Goomba. This is so cool. I love fights that turn everything upside down. You're not Mario anymore. You're Goomba, and you have to fight Mario. How are you going to do it? Each fight is something different and unique, and it's all the same theme, so they all fit really well together. This time we're launching that giant spike ball, trying to hit a certain block. We get in. Now we're above his head, so before we kind of had to crawl under his legs, this time his hat is popping up and can smash us into the ceiling if we don't run fast enough. This is the coolest level we've done all day so far. I love it. Mario has 0 lives left, so it's over, right? That's the top of his head. What's going to happen, though? Oh, no. That's his full face. He's getting up. Oh, he's climbing. It's not done yet. We're going in. What do we got? Giant Mario. Okay. So we've got 2 sides here. Blinking blocks. We got to run over here, hit the exclamation block. Oh, but don't fall. Okay, wait on the clouds. Hopefully it doesn't reset. We got to hit the bob-omb. There we go. So we smashed Mario on the right side. Now we got to do the same on the left side. Quick, quick, quick. Nope. Don't get too greedy. We got to take our time. Hit this bob-omb. And boom! Mario's defeated. And we have a key. Get out of the way, Luigi. I can't see me. And we're going to jump into the box. Mario has 1 life. Does he, though? No. Mario's defeated. This is the coolest level, guys. I totally understand why this one's popular. There's great variety. It's creative. It's original. It's not difficult, per se, but it wasn't super easy. Okay, this one is a create your own boss. And I love that concept. You're able to choose what you want your boss to be. So I grabbed the sword. That's my power up now. We're opening up here. I get to choose what size Boom Boom is. So we're going to choose big boy. The way this works too is spawn blocking. So you can block things from spawning. I do have a video on the main channel about that if you're interested. But essentially you spawn block the things you don't want, and then you can remove whatever's blocking it for things you do want to appear. In this case, let's see, we're going no on the bullet blasters. Let's go in, no red bills. And what else do we want to have or not have? Let's do another no on the piranha plants. So we'll just have a giant Boom Boom, and we'll be Link. And we're stuck. We gotta wait. What's this gonna do? We gotta get this giant Bob-omb to explode. Oh, okay, the Thwomp, I see. Thwomp does it. And then the ground. Oh, there it is. Yes, this is exactly what we made. We made the ground be the hard blocks. We have a giant Boom Boom. You see at the top, we have those things that could have spawned, and we also have the blue on-off blocks that could have spawned some other things that we could have chosen as well. So that's how that one all works. Really cool, really creative. I like that. I think the fight itself isn't the main highlight. It's more about how to make it whatever fight you want. But I think it's really creative and unique, so I like that a lot. So I totally get why that one is popular. We're going to grab the top of the flagpole, and then let's check out the next one. Smiley Face. Okay, let's see. Ooh, all right. It looks a bit enemy spammy to me at the start here. We got a lot of cannonballs, a lot of Koopas, a lot of Goombas, and some Thwomps in the sky. So far, this doesn't feel like a boss fight, really. It feels a little bit tedious and just spammy. But let's see. Keep giving it a chance. We're going over here. These aren't connected. This is the first level we've played that's in this popular region that doesn't look good. I'm sorry, Hobby Dad. This level does not look polished, doesn't look good. And we just have two Boom Booms, fireball spam, with some Bowser fire coming at. Oh, thought I got rid of Boom Boom, but I guess he still has one life. Oh, another Boom Boom! 3 in a row. And Bowser fire. Going through the door, which we could have easily just jumped over this wall. And we're going to drop him down. That level was not good. If you're going to make a boss, please don't do that. Mario's Fight Club. Coming up. That was my least favorite one before, so far. Let's see what this Fight Club is all about. We're going to go through this door. And we are fighting against Wendy first. Wendy is giving us a fire flower. We got a lot of Koopas up top. And we see the same kind of form. If you guys want a formula for how to make a popular boss fight, it looks like it's really obvious. Just do kind of a wrestling arena and do fights where you progressively come to the same wrestling arena and you fight different bosses. Seems to be the thing that everybody really likes and uses the heart on after they beat it. Okay, this one though, we've got big Goombas and we actually have some spikes on the end, so that's something a little bit different. Who's coming down? Oh! Oof, right in the center, right on me. Big Boom Boom. If the Goombas were in here with the big Boom Boom, it would have been a little bit more challenging, but in this case, all we had to do is bounce on them 3 times after we had already beaten the Goombas, so. Next up, we got Lemmy. Let's see what's going on with Lemmy. Oh, interesting. So we got our Pokies here, and we got to get rid of those Pokies so that we can make space if we want to jump up there. And now it's not as dangerous. So I think for this one, what would make it a lot better is if the boss came down faster. Like I think there should be a little bit of time where you can kind of process what to do. But I think having the enemies on the outsides coming in is definitely a factor that should make the boss more interesting if it happened at the same time. But it's too easy to do one at a time. So here's our final boss for this level. Let's check it out. What are we going to fight against? We got some dry bones. Oh, we got all the different enemies we've seen. Oh, and the arena just gets destroyed. Roy comes in. He's digging through. What are we going to do? Boom. Bounce on him. Okay. Is this just a standard Roy fight? It looks like it's just a regular Roy fight. So again, another way that the story is actually taking us all the way through the level more than anything else. It's not about the boss fights themselves. It's more about the overall aesthetic the story and the creativity of the entire theme together that makes this really interesting. And that closes out this level. Let's see, let's grab the axe and done. Okay, we got Wendys Prismarine Palace. That's an interesting name. I like the 2 P's alliteration going on. All right, we're in the water. Interesting. So it's a forest theme, so we're able to have water in the middle of the level. And we've got Wendy. It actually really changes up Wendy's movement, so that's interesting. And the bob-ombs in the bottom are destroying the hard blocks, making the walls close in. A little bit harder to navigate, but we had a lot of time since it was in the water. We're able to kind of predict the movement and be able to get through the level. I like that one. That one's creative. I haven't seen any levels that utilize water halfway like that. This is a random boss fight. Let's check this one out. Okay, it starts off pretty straightforward. And okay, so we have some claws in here. Something about claws is that actually helps add a lot of randomness into the level because claws are hard to do the same every single time. So then when you come in here, what happens will be different each time. So you see that we had the Koopa Clown car and then made a coin come out, and there's all these different directions it could have gone. So we got 1 out of, I think it was 8 different possibilities there. And then here, same thing, a little bit of randomness will give us 1 out of 4 possibilities. What do we get out of this note block? Okay, so this gives us the power up. So the first set of 8 choices was which boss is going to drop, and you can see here we have 8 different areas, and only that middle one has no question mark blocks. That's because they were destroyed. They were spawn blocking something, so that's what caused us to pick which boss. And then we got the Shelmet. Easy to defeat the boss, but I think a really, really cool concept of every time you play this level, it's going to be different, up to 8 different bosses included there. Okay, this one is an auto level. I'm wondering if this is actually a boss or if this was miscategorized. So far, very standard feeling auto level. Pretty well done. Okay, we got a spiked Shelmet going up through. Oh, okay, so there's a boss. We got a Boom Boom here. Let's see how this goes. So we already did 2 damage on him. And bounce, bounce. Oh, he's chasing. He's coming. We lost our spiked Shelmet, but we got him. That was actually kind of cool. I don't typically love auto levels, but I think this was well done in terms of making a boss. And oh, and then we got a big Bowser. Okay, and we sneak right under him, hit the axe, and he's gone. Interesting one. Okay, what is this one? We've got a finale here. Gonna grab a Super Mario Bros. 2 mushroom, go in here. It's gonna be a music level. And we are in, what do we do in here? It's definitely listening to the music. We've got different mushrooms coming out at us, but we don't need those. Wondering where to go. Is this just waiting until the bottom opens up, probably? Because nothing else is really happening here. Okay, there we go. So it was just kind of the intro music. Go through the pipe, checking it out. And more music here. Oh, what's this gonna be? I think this is this Flowey? Is this the name of the boss? It's an Undertale boss, I think. The music definitely got way more epic, and we've got the Ludwigs coming in on the tracks. I'm trying to save this mushroom in case I need it, but I'm probably gonna take damage pretty soon. Don't want to take it too early. So I think this is it's just a survival kind of room. So some bosses, instead of having to defeat them, it's more of just how long can you last before it's all over. Oh gosh. Oh, I don't want to get attacked by this auto scroll. Gotta move fast. Get through here. Okay. I didn't play Undertale myself. I saw a friend of mine, I saw him play it. So I don't exactly remember how this boss went down in the game. But wow, there's a lot going on the screen. Bowser Jr.'s, giant Wendy projectiles, some fire bars coming in and out. Oh, winged Spiny shooting spines all over the place, and Ludwig's coming in. Wow, this is a bit too chaotic for me, to be honest. There's a lot going on here. Hitting the on-off seems to do something. Let's see. I see some like fragments of things getting broken up top. I think the play is just continue to spam this over and over. I love this concept. I think this is really cool, and I'm sure it's very true to the original, but I think that there's just too much going on. Like I can't even keep my eyes on everything that I need to. I need to keep Mario from getting damaged, and I can't really tell if I'm doing anything up top other than like a few little fragments coming off once in a while. So I'm conflicted about this one. I don't think it's necessarily hard because there's so many power-ups that launch in all the time, so it's not a difficulty thing. I think it's more of a tedious thing, just doing the same repetitive tasks over and over, trying to dodge stuff, but then you're gonna get hit because it's all over the entire screen. So then you're just picking up power-ups. It's not challenging, it's just kind of monotonous. Just do the same thing, get hit over and over. I think also this is way too long of a fight. There we go. Okay, we finally got the key, but it felt like it could have been half the length and it still would have had the same feel to it. Lemmy's Sky Palace. Let's see what this one has for us. We skipped the section up to this point, so just starting right on the boss here. We've got a bridge, 2 towers, and Lemmy, just basic Lemmy. I do think that it fits the theme, but the boss fight itself, pretty generic, and I will not remember it after a while. I do like getting the sweet, sweet gold after. So I think they could have added a little bit more to it to make one element, maybe some flying mushroom platforms with wings as the ground instead would have fit the theme and been more interesting. Now we're talking. We got a giant winged thwomp on some munchers, thwomps on either side. We got these piranha plants spitting fire. So I'm getting this thwomp down to hit the POW, which gets rid of one muncher, and now we've got to go on the other side. Oh, okay, so we got to run back and forth, change the blocks with the left thwomp, and get the right thwomp to go down. Okay, let's get him to hit that. Yes, hit the POW. Now Big Boy Thwomp is mobile. He's able to move and fly across the arena, and I got to trick him into getting all the way down, boom, to the POW. That was a cool one. I like that. That was dynamic because it changed. Each phase was a little bit different in the gameplay. That's something that I really think makes a boss fight fun. If you can somehow change the gameplay from phase to phase. Next, we've got Koopaling Battle. Grab this key up top and see what we can do with these Koopalings. We got Roy here. I think we've seen this fight before. Again, if you're just looking for a formula for people to like your boss fights, here's a good one. Clearly it works. People like this one. And we launch the munchers into the Bob-omb, which smashes the Roy as long as we pick the right path. Cool. Wendy at the bottom there. And the munchers are coming in. Oop. We gotta dodge. Now we're seeing some repeats. We got 2 Lemmys on this one. Looks like, okay, let's get this. Let's see what's up here. So we gotta get this big coin, but the on-off switch at the bottom, that's what we're gonna need to do. And there's munchers above the rightmost Lemmy. So we're getting knocked around here. We actually are not in any danger in this one, so I think it's a little bit too easy because there's bumpers. So I think the idea is they didn't want us to attack the Lemmys directly, but we actually can't get hurt by anything in this level. So there's not a lot of stakes. I think you need some sort of stakes when you're playing a boss fight, some sort of danger in there. This one we just got to run around, hit this on off, boom. Okay, so this is going to be a very easy type of boss rush level. Not a lot of challenge here. These ice blocks are so slippery. I'm getting back up there. But I do think, again, these levels look really nice. Okay, we're going to launch the Buzzy Beetle at the Morton. He keeps stunning me. I should actually think about jumping instead of just getting... Oh, there we go. Nice. That one had a little bit of danger to it because of the fire coming at us and those yellow Fruit Loops. And this one, the bomb's going to be right above the Iggy when we detonate them with the on-off. So you're starting to see a lot of these popular boss fights are really interesting compared to the standard boss fights that you see. The Bowser Fire Flower spam over and over, or just the regular boom boom, bounce on his head 3 times. Those are the most common. We're not seeing them a lot in this set because these are the most popular ones, but you are starting to see some commonalities in here. Now we have those closing in walls, so there's certain mechanics that are really interesting compared to standard boss fights. So if you're looking for, hey, what's a cool thing that's tried and true that people like, this set of levels has a lot of that. You can see some patterns emerging here. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. Oh, that was quick. Bowser was throwing fire. We used the twister and then immediately destroyed him. And he is donezo. All right. And we get the spiked Shelmet. Defeat Meowser. Okay, we haven't seen any 3D World levels, I don't think. Not many. So let's see what this one's all about. We got the cat bell. And Meowser right away. I think I could just... yep. All right. I just used that big block, exclamation mark block, and I ground pounded it. And Meowser is done. I honestly think Meowser fights are typically worse than regular Bowser fights. They're just so tedious, and Meowser goes far away. What's this one? Is this Lakitus? Okay, Lakitus are throwing a lot of stuff at us. Oof, I don't know if you can even call that a boss. But we're gonna move on from that one. This is a tournament. Now I'm excited about this. The story's got to be really interesting here. So we're going in, we went into a building, and we're gonna join this Koopaling Tournament. Okay, exploring a little bit, we found a 1-up, but I like the tables and the chairs, a little place to eat up there. Register. Okay, we're registering for the tournament. The Thwomp is the tournament host. He gives us the key to register, and let's go up. Good luck. Oh, this is cool. So far, this is cool. I feel immersed in the story. I think it's going to be a really fun time. Quarterfinals. So we're seeing, it looks like the bracket to the left, and the gold medal is if you win them all. We're up against Iggy first. Oh. So already we've got some elements. We got some things that we have to worry about here, which is the bullet bills. Iggy's launching some stuff, and then if we go too high, we can bump our head on these burners. So there's a lot actually to focus on in this one. I think this is pretty interesting. Not too overwhelming. And yeah, I think the tracks coming down, holding the bridge up is cool too. So we beat the quarterfinals. We're moving on to the semis. Looks like Ludwig and Roy are going to battle, and we're going to battle Lemmy. Oh, we're a little mushroom. I just noticed that. So the mushroom is us against Lemmy. Let's see what this fight's all about. We'll get the fire flower. Lemmy is here. Some bumpers, which fit his theme. But the fire flower, I actually wish they didn't give us the fire flower, because I feel like it's going to make the fight way too easy. Look, we can just stand here and spam a little bit. I think it'd be a lot more interesting if we didn't have the fire flower. Maybe they could have given us something else that gives us an extra hit instead of the fire flower. But that kind of felt like we just cheesed through the fight and didn't even have to worry about it. So if you were to say which one was the more difficult one, I would say the first battle was actually the better designed battle, and the second one could have been improved. Now we're going on to the finals to get that gold medal. This is fun. They're adding a little bit of anticipation with the sound effect and going up the stairs. That's a good tactic if you're trying to build up for that final boss. And we got Ludwig here. And they gave us a cape. That's exactly what I was just saying. If they had done that for the last fight, it would have been better. So now the floor is even harder. The middle fell out. And these platforms make it interesting because Ludwig can jump up on them and jump down. This is actually a kind of a tough fight. Let's see if I can get him here. Yeah, this was actually a good, well-designed fight. Not overwhelming. Good difficulty curve compared to the last two. And let's see, what do we get? Nice. We got our gold medal and our sweet 1-up mushroom. This looks like a title screen level so far. Going in, we've got an on-off switch. I'm not feeling good about this one. Just seeing what I see. Okay, we got a star, and there's tons of Koopalings everywhere. I do not know why this boss fight is in the top 100 most popular boss fights. This looks terrible. This is not... Oh my gosh. Okay, so what could we do to make this better? Well, first off, don't put every boss all at the same time and just stars everywhere. Because then what's the point? If you're just getting stars all the time and all the bosses, there's no skill involved. So I would say make it more of a boss rush. Do one boss at a time and don't give us stars. Maybe there's more to this level than I'm seeing. Yeah, let's hit this just in case. Okay, piranha plants, Goombas. It's interesting because I feel like there's some elements that show that this person like tried to make it look nice, but then there's just a lot of questionable decisions in terms of the gameplay. Like these coins, this little area looks good. And this doesn't look like it's too bad, actually. This design, we're climbing up. Not much of the boss action happening here. Maybe there's a boss through here. We got some Goombas jumping down. And, oh, I'm glad that level's over. I don't know why that one's popular. It shouldn't be. We've got Happy Christmas Tree. Oh, another cute story-related boss. So this is the little town. It's Christmas. There's our Christmas tree. Everything's great. We've got the star on top. It's looking good. What? Something's coming. Oh, no. The Koopalings are setting fire to our tree. This is really cool. I think it's really cool to try to create cutscenes like this. Since Mario Maker 2 obviously doesn't have a cutscene maker itself. So by putting Mario underneath on a conveyor belt or whatever he's on, and then having hard blocks that explode and open up the next scene, and we are using auto-scrolling to create this story, I think that's really clever, really fun, and adds a whole different layer to your level. Gonna definitely make the level stand out compared to typical levels that don't have a story or a cutscene. Now we're getting to the first boss. We got Bob-ombs, and it shows us here that Larry needs to be standing in the yellow in order to get hit by the bombs. Okay, I should probably open that back up. Bob-ombs bomb in. Okay, that's 2 hits. And very slippery because we've got ice or snow theme and it's nighttime. So we got to be careful on there. But I think we're pretty safe. Yeah, we're pretty safe in this level. So that was a pretty easy fight. Let's go on and see what else we got. There were more than just one Koopaling there. We got to be able to fight everybody. I think Bowser Jr. was there too. So what does it say? Make? I think we're rebuilding the tree. I think that's what the story is here. So each time we beat a boss, we're rebuilding with our townsfolk. This one seems very similar to the last one. A little bit more space. But I don't feel like there's much danger here for Mario. I can kind of just stand here and wait. Yeah, just hit the on-offs. This fight, I would say, I could tell some work was put in on the aesthetics. Like, it looks pretty good, but definitely pretty boring gameplay-wise. And I think the tree's got a little bit more to it now. Let's see what our next fight holds. Oh, okay, so this is just a save. Let's move on here. Showing how far the tree has come along. I think adding progress like that definitely helps a level. And even a boss level, if you can somehow have a story or show something that's building as you go, like this tree's getting built up. Here's a variation on the Bob-omb Muncher trampoline on-off fight that we've seen a few times now. Now we're in the Mario Bros. U style, and we're in the night theme. So that actually does add an element of difficulty because it's so slippery. Oh, and I almost got hit by that with the Roy projectile. So this has a slight variation to the other ones we saw. Last, the tree's looking taller. I think we need one more tier on top, and we're gonna go in and do the final battle. I think it's very clear the progression of the story. I understand why this would be popular. I think it's a feel-good. It probably was released around Christmas time too. Let's see, this one. This one's kind of a fire flower spam level. We got the fire flowers on the top. At least it's not in the dead center. Yep, Bowser Jr. there. But we do have some platforms, so it's not just a boring arena. I would say that's the biggest trick into making an interesting boss fight in Mario Maker 2. Because the bosses can't be altered, the way to do it is to make the arena interesting. And that can be through night themes, it can be through platforms, it can be through all sorts of different things, changing the phase every time you do damage. Okay, there's the three Koopalings and a Bowser Jr. They're trapped, they're in jail. We've got our tree and our townsfolk. And let's see, do we get that final tree at the end? The Christmas tree shining. There it is. It's got the star back. Yay, and some sound effects to show us that we did it. This one I definitely understand why it's in the top 100 popular levels. It makes complete sense to me. There were a couple in there that I'm like, why? Why am I playing this? But sometimes people just like levels that are easy. Okay. Big thwomps. Thwomp stack coming in. Run. Jump. Oh no! The big boss. The thwomps are the boss in this one. And it's kind of a speed run. We have to survive. I'm missing all these key coins. Oh! Oh, okay. Good. And then he breaks it open for me. And that's the end. The worst boss Blitz. I'm excited for this one. I've played this one before, and it's super fun. So, we've got a single Goomba. And that's it. It's the thing that kills me about this is the levels, the design looks so good. Like, it would be what you would see for an actual good boss level. Like these seesaws, right? Oh, that's tricky. If it was a Koopaling, it'd be tricky. And stuff like this where there's lava exposure and the... Oh, oops. I got hit, but I just let that spiny go right into the lava. Like, these levels look really good, and they could be tricky if somebody else was piloting this Koopa Clown car. It's possible we get bumped into the spikes, right? So the design of the arena is actually really well done. It's the boss itself. Okay, this one, I think if you just didn't have a fire flower, you'd have to actually work for it. But the fire flower makes it so you don't have to even interact with it at all. So let's see here. We got a Monty Mole that comes out of nowhere. Got him. Again, these would be really cool if it actually like was some sort of danger of crushing you. These ideas are fantastic. Yeah, there's a lot of really good ideas here that you could use for like real boss fights. But I think just the humor, the comedy of making such really beautiful looking arenas, but then the bosses are just so easy, laughably easy. That's what makes this a great level. Okay, we've got a Pokey in a Fire Clown car. This is actually more of a challenge here. Pokey we might have to hit a few times. We do have to jump up to get him too. There we go, okay. A couple hits on that one. That was the toughest boss so far. And we're going in. Oh, this is going to be something big. We got our propeller cap. Get the checkpoint. I love the semi-solid platforms behind to add some depth. That's a good trick to add some depth to your level so it doesn't feel so hollow and empty. It feels like we're actually in a hallway. Okay, this is a long hallway. There's got to be something big. Okay, it looks like a Bowser. There's going to be a Bowser at the end. So we got to get ready. I don't know how the propeller hat's going to help with the Bowser. And here he comes. And it's just a little piranha plant. I love it. Greedy Golden Garrison. Alright. Going in. SMB2 Mushroom. We got Dry Bones. Wing Dry Bones. What can we do? We can pick this up. I think we need to throw something at the big Wing Dry Bones. That's what it's looking like. Alright. So let's pick them up. And... oh, I missed. Okay. So the bullet bills don't do anything to the big wing dry bones. We're going to have to do something with the small dry bones. There's a lot going on screen. A little bit too much. I understand what we're trying to do here, but I think there's like just one or two too many elements. And then if I miss the dry bones, if I throw it and it's still around but doesn't have the wings, then it just gets in the way. Yeah, this is tricky. Okay. Okay, well we hit the big dry bones, but it doesn't look like anything changed. We hit them again. I'm thinking there's got to be like a ton of them overlapped. Okay, this is getting a little tedious. I love the concept of this, but something you should always ask yourself when you're making a boss fight is this too long or too short? Something I think is great is leaving the audience wanting a little bit more. So right now I want less. I've been going too long. I've already figured out what I need to do and I've executed it more than 3 times. 3 is kind of the magic number in boss fights. If you can do the same thing 3 times, it shows that you have enough mastery to complete the fight. But in this case, we have a ton of big wing dry bones. Yeah, I have no idea how many either. That's another frustrating point, is since they're all overlapped like that, there's no way to tell how many are in there. So I would change this whole thing, maybe only have one side shoot the bullet bills and not have the mushrooms popping out. I don't think that is good design. I think having just a couple you can grab, 1 or 2 you can grab if you lose it, that adds some stakes so that it's not all like, I could just do this fight forever. I could keep doing this tedious fight as long as I need to until the timer runs out. But boss fights it shouldn't really be about the timer. I think the timer is not an element. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 speedrun boss fights that are cool, but unless it's specifically supposed to be kind of a speedrun type level, the timer doesn't really add any element of fun to it for me. So I skipped ahead here to save us all some time. We got to the end. We're opening the door. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments if you like something like this, if you want to see more. I'm Arrowstotle, and thanks for watching.